So, Tomeka here. Tomeka James back, guys. So last night I was on with you guys talking about about being an entrepreneur and all about doing different things in the beauty industry. So today I am on to give one big tip. I'm not going to be here for very long. My big tip is for those of you, hey Michelette. My big tip is for those of you who are looking to host events. You need to understand what you need to do when you go in and you start setting everything up, and you want to make sure things are in order so it makes sense, because you do need to sign a contract when you set up an event, whether it is just a small class, a large event, whatever it is, you need to sign contracts. So today I'm going to talk about attrition. Do you guys know what attrition is? It is something really important in the world of signing a contract when it comes down to dealing with a hotel. Do you guys know what attrition is? This is a very important word when you are signing a contract. So let me just tell you right now, my arena is hosting beauty events and different things like that. But what if you guys out there are interested in hosting some type of event for a group of people? You have a sorority, you have any type of group that you want you all to meet in one place, and you want you all to be able to come together, but you want your people to be able to have a room that they can sleep in. Hi, lovely. A room that they can sleep in and not have to pay the hotel's regular rate. So attrition is connected to a room block. So when you guys host your event, even if it's a wedding, even if it's whatever kind of event where people are coming in and they're going to come in town, they're going to stay at the hotel where you're hosting your event, and you want them to be able to all sign on under a room block. You all have been a part of a room block because you've attended some type of event and you didn't want to pay the hotel's regular rate. So you call the event coordinator, or you go to the event coordinator's website or whatever, and you say, hey, do you have a room block? So they'll say, yes, we do. Call in under this particular name. So I want to share this big tip with you guys, because what happens with attrition is this. So you sign your contract, you have your event all set up. So wherever the event is hosted in the hotel, you have a part of your contract that you're paying for that particular area of the hotel. Then you have your guests who are signing in under this room block. The hotel wants you, in order to do a room block, hey Sharnette, they want you to guarantee that they want you to set up at least 10 rooms under your room block, so that it'll be on the contract that is revenue that the hotel will receive. And they are now going to take these rooms out of their inventory and hold them for you and your group under a lower rate. Okay, so I want y'all to understand. You're so welcome, Lakeisha. I want you to understand, when it comes to attrition, the reason why they have this is because they're saying, hey, we're going to help you and your group out to not have to pay our $179 per night rate, but we're going to allow you to let your guests pay $115. But you have to guarantee us that a certain amount of your guests will actually sign on. So here is the big thing and the hard part for the event coordinator. You have to figure out, how many of these people do I really think are actually going to need to stay here? How many of them are actually going to book? Now, the hard part for the coordinator is you don't really know. And then you do this to support your people, but then your people end up booking somewhere else. Oh, they got $5 less and they book over here at the hotel down the street, which they're going to have to pay for a car rental to move around, or pay for Uber, or beg somebody for a ride. They don't even get it that they just paid $5 or $10 less for the hotel down the street to now have to get back to the hotel. Anyway, that is my dilemma sometimes, like, oh my goodness. But in any case, I want to explain to you how you can get around this, okay? So you don't really get around it, but most hotels want you to book at least 10 rooms, right? Now, this is what I did. So I basically said to the hotel, hey, I don't know how many people are going to stay. I normally do larger events, and I'm quite sure that we're going to have like 50, 100 people, 100 rooms blocked. Okay, that's easy. But now I'm doing this event that's a new event. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to be so responsible, even though it's going to be on my contract. So let me explain to you that when you go in and you talk to the hotel, attrition has a percentage on it, meaning that it can be high ream, it can be 70% of the amount of rooms that you blocked. It could be 80%, it could be 90, 100. They could have attrition at whatever percentage that they want it to be. So now it's up to you to negotiate the lowest amount of attrition on the rooms, okay? So if you guys are here and you have tried to book an event, you are so welcome, Jessica. I need y'all to hear every word that I'm saying, because it's all about negotiation. It's all about understanding what you can and cannot have and what you need to do. Now, in some cases, every now and then, a hotel will not have you to deal with this. Now, that's a very small percentage. You better be doing business with them all the time before that happens. But generally, what they will do is they will say, okay, well, we're going to give you the lowest amount of attrition. We'll give you 70% so that you'll have to guarantee us that. So that means that out of these 10 rooms that you booked, you will be responsible, and you need at least 7 nights to be booked. 7. Now, this is what I did. Major tip here. I said to the hotel, this event is for 1 night. However, can you make my contract say that if the people who are coming to my event want to stay on, so the event is on Sunday, and the people want to stay on Saturday night, which is generally going to happen, but they may want to come in on Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, and they may want to possibly stay on Monday. I don't know how they want to do this. But if they book, will you be able to make my contract say that they can book any of these nights and it will count as a part of my room count? Hello? Can I get pump some hearts or something? Because that was big right there, guys. Because usually what happens is they will say your room block, your event is on Sunday. Your room block is for Saturday. Right? And we're going to put 10 rooms on your room block to start off with. However, you can always add more rooms on until you get to the specific date that they say that you have a cutoff. So now the room block is for Saturday night on your contract, but your people one person may stay for 3 nights. So this is the thing that you want. You want that hotel to allow you to utilize any of the nights before, during, and after your official room block to count as a part of your attrition so that you don't get screwed. Okay, guys, I wanted to share that. So you guys know that I actually have a course on being a great educator, a brush up course. I'm trying to express to you, if you're an educator and you want to do this and you want to host events, you need to understand the back end. I have that experience because I've dealt with a lot of different hotels. I've constantly had to renegotiate, talk to everyone, and do all of these different things. Thank you, Lady Sha. How you doing? So I had to do all of these things. And when you guys are in my presence and we're doing a course on the respective thing, this is the information I'm going to share with you. So like my next course that's coming up is the Brush Up Educators course. A lot of you out there are already teaching classes, you're booking hotels, you're doing different types of events. You need this information. That's why I created the Brush Up Educators course, because my thing is, I feel so sad for a lot of us out here in this beauty industry. We come outside and we feel like we know enough to get started. And then we go and we start doing things, but we don't have the back end information. And then all of a sudden you wonder why you got screwed, but you're just trying to teach a class. Then you don't even pay attention to all of the things surrounding teaching your class, which is your setup, your breakdown, all the things that you need to understand, communicating with your audience, making sure they understand what your event is about, making sure that they will go ahead and book those rooms, understanding that you got to keep constantly in their face to make sure that they know what's going on, what they need to do, what are the deadlines, what exactly is on the table. So guys, I came on today to share this information. So definitely, I'm going to read actually a contract that I'm actually signing right now. And this is what it says for performance and attrition. There's a part of the contract that has performance/attrition. If the event is held but the hotel does not realize the total revenue anticipated from your event, you agree to pay performance damages. This is what attrition is, okay? The damages owed will be the amount necessary for the hotel to receive no less than whatever the percentage is going to be, 70, 80, whatever percent of the total anticipated revenue from the event. Now, this is what I had them to add on to my contract that is going to help me, so that if people book and they book in or out, on or off of the specific day that I set up the room block to be on, it will save my tail. Here's the line. Guest rooms picked up per and post meeting may be put towards the actual guest room numbers. Okay? I'm going to read that again for you guys. If you need to hear this again, if you're hosting events, you want this particular line. If you got to take notes and write this down, go ahead and get your notebook. I'll give you 2 seconds to find you a notebook and a pen to write down this one line that will save you behind. Because the thing is, you don't know when people are going to book. So you're trying to make sure that they have a place to stay right there where the event is hosted. However, you can't trust what people are going to do. People will screw you in a minute when you're trying to help them. It's unfortunate, but this is how it works. Hey, Christina. So I'm going to read this line one more time for those of you out there hosting events. And if you guys come to my event, which is the Brush Up Educators course, you're already educating and you need information like this, you're going to get it when you come to the course. It's happening January 21st and 22nd. So I spoke about a few things to give you guys a chance to get your pen and paper. The line says, guest rooms picked up per and post meeting may be put towards the actual guest room numbers. Okay? So, once again, your hotel is going to, at a minimum, ask that you put on your contract that you are going to make sure that you get them 10 nights booked where people are going to stay for 10 rooms will be booked. But it is 10 nights, just so you know. So if your room block says that you're guaranteeing that it's 10, you just need, because your attrition rate is 70, 80%, you'll need 7 or 8 rooms to be booked at a minimum before you, as the host of the event, have to come out your pocket and pay for the room rate. Okay. Another thing is, what you want to do is get the room rate down as low as you possibly can, because once again, you don't know who's going to book under your room block. So if you set this up for the people and they don't book, now you're stuck paying $150 per room for 10 rooms. Okay. So my next event, hello, this is what I'm teaching you guys if you want to be a great educator. My next Brush Up Educators course is January 21st and 22nd in New Jersey. Go to teachmeweave.com if you need to register. It is $2.99 for you to hang out with me for 2 days to get information like this, so you can keep your butt out of trouble, so you can have successful classes, so you can do everything the right way, so you'll get everything done in a timely and effective fashion. So I was talking today about attrition. If you don't know what it is what the hotel would charge your behind for the fact that you wanted to save the people who are coming to your event. You wanted to make sure that they did not have to pay the full hotel's rate. And you're saying that you're going to put 10 rooms on your contract that people need to book. But your attrition is going to say that you are, I'm just going to say at 70%. At 70%, you have to have at least 7 rooms booked. Will you video it? I'll be out of the country. So I won't video the educators course because it's for 2 full days. So it's literally like all day. Like we're starting early in the morning and we're over at 6. So it won't be videotaped, but I do have the educators course as a replay, because I did the course for 3 hours. Yeah, man, that would be very long. Yeah. So the course, I condensed it, and I actually was so proud of the fact that I was able to do a webinar that I condensed the information down to 3 hours for people who actually wanted to just jump on and be able to get in there and quickly get the information. I saw Kendra up here. Kendra was actually on that webinar. Kendra, I don't know if you're still here or not, but you can purchase the replay, and the replay is only at $99 for the replay. When I do that webinar live, it's $199 for the webinar, and when you attend with me in person, it's $299 for the course for 2 days. So rates are really great. There were a few people who had to get the replay, and when I tell you, they came up to me and they were like, Tomeka, thank you so much, because the replay was just as good. The only thing is they couldn't ask me questions live, but y'all know I'm always around. So even if you get a replay, something is on there and you need to ask me a question, you could always, contact me and I'll answer. But I just, and and like Dondi right here, Dondi is already an educator. And the thing is, are we going to all sit here and constantly say, hello? Are we going to constantly say to ourselves, you thought it was in December? So we have a bunch of things going on. The Brush Up Educators course there was a webinar. No, that was November. The Brush Up Educators course is coming up January 21st and 22nd. It's happening in New Jersey at the DoubleTree at Newark Airport. That's going to be a 2-day course, right? And, oh, you're so welcome, Ivana. Are you just meeting me, Ivana, for the first time? That's really cool. Thank you for saying that. So that course will be the 21st and 22nd of January here in New Jersey. It's in person for 2 days. So what do we do at this Brush Up Educators course, just in case you guys want to know? If you've already worked with a company, you've been trained, you already have some sort of information, or you are in a position where you basically have taught some classes on your own. Oh, great. You taught some classes on your own, but you never really had formal training. Or, like I said, you did work for a company, or you have actually taken a course where you started to be an educator, but you really still feel like there's a few things that I could actually brush up on. I could actually take myself to another level, because Tomeka James is training all across the country. And I know that this lady has the information. I've been in her class. I already know how she educates. I know that she's building a team. So if you want to be able to build your own team and you want information and you just want to be better, don't look at the fact that you've already been out here and you've been functioning. The reason why we take classes every day is because Facebook has asked me to bring people on camera. I read it wrong. But don't look at the fact that you've been functioning and that things are going okay. But what if you can get that pow information that will take you to the next level? So you've been in my class, you've seen me educate, you've watched, but do you know all of the information that I actually have? Do you actually know that when I do a class at this show, I function a certain way? When I do a class at this kind of show, I function a certain way. So when you're in class with me and we're talking about being a successful educator, I'm going to talk to you and show you the different ways that I would adjust my presentation, adjust how I operate, adjust how I interact with my team, the things that I have them to do or not have them to do, the type of presentations that I will offer based on location, based on audience, all of that kind of stuff. What do I do to make sure I'm interacting with my audience? What do I do to make sure that they get what I'm saying? How do I actually connect with them? Do I do certain things for people who only like to look? Do I cater to my audience when I know that they need to touch? What do I do in that case to support the whole audience to make sure everyone is good? So all of these things are the things that I teach in this course. So please, guys, don't be too proud that you've already been educating. I created this course just for you guys to be able to get this information. Now, the real reason why I came on today was to talk about attrition and setting up your events. If you already work with a company and now you're on your own, or you just want to continue to be on your own, you need to know how to do it the right way. I want you to not have to spend too much money. I want you to know how to talk to hotels and get everything organized and set up. I want you to stay out of trouble. Okay, so one other thing I do when I do host an event at a hotel, I'm going to be upfront as possible. So for instance, when I booked the brush up educators course with the hotel, I said to them, hey, these guys are going to have to, we're going to have to play music at some point in time during the day, because they need to make sure they can speak over music that is playing. Because if these educators are teaching classes and they're working at trade shows, they need to know how to be able to speak over loud music and loud noise and things like that. So at some point in time, I'm gonna need to turn music on. So I need to make sure you know that before I book my event, because I don't want trouble when I get there. And now here we are at the hotel and I'm teaching a class and I need to play music, and now the hotel is riffing and bugging because they're like, oh, we are having another event in the room next to you and you guys are really loud. I don't want to hear that, miss or mister. I warned you when I set this event up. This is an educational class and we're going to play music at some point in time. So I'm just saying that if you want to be a great educator and you want to do things right, there are little things that you need to do to keep your stress level down. So your stress level will definitely be all the way up if your attrition on your contract is not written out properly, and you get there and you get to the day of and you didn't read well. Like I told y'all earlier, I got in trouble already in the past with contracts, not paying attention, not reading, not understanding what's going on. So I need y'all to understand attrition and understand how to finagle. So my major tip today was that you will get your hotel to put the attrition on the contract and to let it spread out over several days, so that you're not stuck to, my event is on Sunday, my room block was set for Saturday, but people are booking. So you could literally get one person that will book 3 nights and another person that'll book 2 nights, and now that is 5 nights out of your 10. And if your attrition was 70%, now you only need to have 2 more rooms booked before you get in trouble. Hello? That was my big tip for you guys. So you can watch this broadcast over. I spoke about a lot of different things. So listen to it again, watch it again, share it if you know others. And thank you, Tanisha, for that lovely comment about Learn from the Best. Thank you so much. But you know, and Tanisha puts on events too. So I don't know if that's something that she may have heard that's going to help her when she puts on her next event, because I know she's been putting on events where people come in from out of town and they're booking their hotel. And the thing is, it's so sad because here we are as the event coordinator trying to help the whole situation out, and then we get screwed. So don't get screwed, guys. Use this information and use it to the best of your ability. Hey, Muffin, and I know that you're putting on events and you're hosting events all the time and people are coming in town and you don't want to wake up and the event is over and they're like, you didn't meet your attrition. Your contract now has another $1,000 on it because your people didn't book. But I'll tell you one thing, another thing you can do with some of your contracts too is pay attention to the dates when it comes to attrition, and you can request that you can change your contract as close as possible to the date so that you don't get screwed. So if you look, and also guys, when it comes to attrition, you need to be on top of this. You need to be calling that hotel every so often. Hey, salesperson. Now, depending on the hotel, the larger the hotel, they have like 10 people. So your attrition and that part of your contract may be handled with one person who is in this office. So the person that set your event up may not necessarily be the one that does your room block. So now when you're ready to do your room block, you got to talk to somebody else. You do mine completely differently, so you are not responsible. And yes, and I spoke about that too, that there is another way where you can do it where it's not on your contract. I thank you so much. I did speak about that briefly. And that also is generally due to the relationships that you have with the hotels. So a lot of time it's not the best to be bouncing around to 1,000,001 different places, because the more you develop relationships, the more that the people you work with will trust you and they know what kind of business you do, and you can organize your stuff completely different. Because I've had contracts where attrition was not a part of it, because I'm like, hey, listen, I don't want that, you know. So it just depends, you know, everything completely depends, but it can also not be completely your responsibility. And like I was just saying, you know, you could also do it where even if you put it on a contract to make sure you have a room block, you can also organize it where if you get closer to the date, you call them up, nobody's booking, please remove that because I can't be responsible. Just please take that off. Or you start without it and then you add it later. I mean, it's so many different things that you can do. You know the function that you're organizing. You know what you're doing, what you need to handle, and you do it many different ways. But my big tip today was for you guys to know that if you have to have attrition on your contract, this is how you operate so you can have it spread out and keep your butt out of trouble. So guys, I thank you all for joining. And you know, hey Sonia, I know girl, I know you were calling me about the event that I'm getting ready to host, and you were asking me about the hotel's room block. So everything is all set up. So I'll send you over the information, let you know what we got going on. And guys, stick with me. I'm here to help. And that's just pretty much the bottom line. I mean, I have the information. You can search all over the world, or you can stick with me and get what you need. But my next course is the Brush Up Educators course. If you want to be great at what you do and you want to be able to set your own stuff up, you want to do things the right way, you want to know how things work from the back end, you want to know how it is that you set up when you do trade shows, how do you set up when you do a private class, what are some of the ins and outs. My course is not just to teach you how to stand up there and just stand in front of a crowd. What I fully understand is being a great educator is understanding the whole full scope of everything, understanding the full picture. You don't just stand up there and be an educator. It just doesn't work that way. You're so welcome, Sharnette. It just doesn't happen that way. You need to understand everything. And what I know and the reason why, like when I made my ad that is going out for you guys to be able to sign up for this course, I put up there, if you worked with a company and you're now on your own. Hey guys, hello, listen. You used to work with cheap products. You used to work with whoever. They are going to give you the information that they need you to have as far as being an educator to do what they need you to do. Okay? So I'm just going to tell you guys, when I did the webinar that was for 3 hours, the young lady who actually couldn't make the webinar and watched the replay, she got so much. She was telling me that she had been working with this celebrity artist and they were doing classes all over, everywhere. So she was traveling with this person. So she's like, yeah, I've been already teaching and blah, blah, blah. And I said, listen, I'm just going to let you know that the information that I have is the full scope. So you were working with this person, but at the end of the day, you only knew what they needed you to handle. You didn't know from point A. You got on point D. And you did whatever they asked you, and you were functioning, you were making it happen and getting things done. But you never knew about the inception. You never knew about the beginning. So I just feel like being a great educator, you have to know the full scope. And that's what I'm bringing to the table. Nobody was there to sit there and tell me, Tomeka, you need to pay attention to the fact that when you go to the trade show and you are purchasing. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell y'all another different story. I was on the phone with a friend last night who needed some information about being a part of a trade show. And by the time I finished talking to them, it was just like they were like, whoa, because they had no clue. They want to do this, but they had no clue. So I applaud them, number one, for asking me, opposed to just sitting back and being like, well, I don't want to ask her. I don't know, and I'm just going to go for it. You need to be able to get information. Now, do I have time to sit on a phone call with each individual person and give that information out? No. Not when I wrote a book about it. Not when I have a course on it. No. Everyone can come in and join and get the information at the same time. But what I'm saying right now is, she was asking me about, we were talking about like setting up at a show. And I said one simple thing. I was like, so you need to pay attention to the fact that when you order your electricity for your booth, because you're going to want to do your sales and you want to make sure you have electricity, you need to order that in a timely fashion, because if you order your electricity and you order it prior to the show, you'll get the advance rate. If you order it when you're at the show, they now have a this on-site thing where they charge you more labor on top of the show rate for you to actually get electricity. So you could end up paying like $100 more just for buying it on site. Now, if that's what you have to do, by all means do that. But I was also saying how you got to wait for them to set it up when you buy it on site as well. So I'm saying there's a lot of information that people just don't even know, things that go on behind the scenes when it comes down to being an educator. You want to work at the large trade shows, you want to do small classes. You need to get the information. Like I said, nobody was there to tell me this stuff. I had to figure this stuff out on my own, and I was able to create a program and draw it up and be able to share and help other people. And I promise you, if you've already been doing this, I promise you that there are things, because I've been doing this since 2004. And it's now 2017, about to be 2018. So I have that many years of things that have gone right and wrong, and things that I have experienced that I can share with everyone. Girl, yes, Tanisha, trade shows are serious. And even when, I know you've done trade shows in your own city and state, and it's even hard to do it at home. You got to get your stuff in there. You got to get your stuff out. You have to, everything. It's a lot. So I'm definitely not trying to scare anyone, but I want you to be informed. You need to always be well informed so that when you're ready to do it, you're good. So for $299 to keep you out of trouble, because I just told you that if you wait until the day of, you may pay $100 extra. So if you pay me $299 to get the scoop and get all the great info that you really need before you jump out the window, you paid the money in the beginning to not have to pay the extra $100 and whatever else you might have to pay for. Okay, so I'm here, guys. I'm here. The course is on the 21st and 22nd. Then we have the technology course that's coming up on February 19th in Atlanta. And that's going to help you to get your social media, your technology life together. There's a lot that we need to be doing, guys. So I'm here to help. But watch this over so you can get the information about attrition. And I will talk to you guys later. I don't know when I'm coming back on, but, you know, I come on when I feel like, oh, I got some info I need to share with these folks, okay? I was signing my contract, and I wanted to make sure that you guys got this info, okay? So read your contracts 3 times before you sign, or 10 times, and then you sign and find out if there's anything in there that you need to change up. Have a great day. Watch this over so you can find out more about attrition. Have a good day. Bye-bye. And always visit teachmeweave.com to get the latest info about what classes and everything that we have coming up. Adios.